Standing at a crossroads, facing life's railroads, leaving indecision reign with the silly superstitious.
I'm going to interview today Eric Lehman, the founder of this movement, to explain to you exactly why it's so important that you're here with us today. Eric, thank you so much for being here and for putting this all together.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a great world, and we are definitely not here by accident.
Absolutely not. So Eric, tell me about the genesis and the evolution of the Game Changers movement.
Well, thanks for asking, Antigua. The shootings at Sandy Hook affected me really deeply, and I found myself questioning everything. Like, should I send my kids to school? Is it worth it? Do kids know how essential they are? Do my kids know how much I love them? Do kids know that they have a choice and that they are very powerful at any age? Mm-hmm. A month and a half after Sandy Hook, I took those questions more and more into my daily meditation, and I was presented with a vision. Mm-hmm. I saw kids lining up for uplifting events carrying nothing but a video game as their ticket price to a new life. A life where they knew how significant they were without needing to feel significant by getting better at killing people in a video game. Yeah. The next day, I had a different vision, and it pulled it all together. The vision was of the AIDS quilt, and then it hit me. We're going to change our games into art. We're going to show people that kids can choose something different. They can choose a new way of looking at life. So that's what we set out to do, and that's exactly what we're doing. For 12 months in a row in Ithaca, New York, we've been transforming violence into art.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. And so we can really get involved in all of that, and that's why you're here on this website, because we're calling everybody together. Eric's calling everybody together to really join in this movement. So how did this vision start evolving over time?
Wow, it's still evolving day by day, and so when I was getting ready for our first launch event last November, I had the opportunity to paint 400 violent video games with my 3 kids sitting in the living room of the house we were living in, and it was an amazing night for me. And then another huge insight hit me, and as we were painting these violent video games, we were totally unplugged. We had real conversations, and I learned so much about my kids that night. And that's when I realized, the true outcome of the Game Changer movement, when all this is said and done, parents are going to get their kids back, and kids are going to get their parents back.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's so important. And really, it just takes a little bit of time with our attention on somebody to make them feel so great. And I know that that's what kids really desire. And I know as parents, that interaction is what we really desire from our kids. So Eric, how is this really going to happen? Tell me more.
We have a goal and we have a challenge.
Okay.
Our goal is to inspire youth to trade in at least 1 million violent video games.
Wow.
Yeah. We're going to achieve this goal by introducing youth to real-life game changers along the way. People who have changed the game in the sports that they play, in the music they perform, or the art they create. And also, people just like you and me who have changed their own game and made the choice to become more present parents, or more attentive teachers, or more compassionate friends. We will create pieces of art and signs with our partners and sponsors as this movement grows. And we will celebrate the fact that we chose a different path with each other.
Oh, nice.
As individuals, changing our game may be challenging, which is why we're going to do this together. As the pieces we create become more visible, we will know that we are creating peace, one piece at a time.
Oh my goodness. So it's really repurposing everything and standing up and taking this challenge for ourselves. So how are we going to collect those violent video games?
Well, that's the next step in this whole entire game-changing repurposing process. So we're going to be launching what we call the Repurpose Your Hard Drive campaign. We are creating repurposing bins that will take the shape of characters with arms and legs. With every game that is traded in, the heartbeat of the characters will beat so that each child will know that their choice matters as we repurpose our hard drives together.
Wow. I can see it. I can see them like everywhere, and that's going to be so neat. Eric, you mentioned that youth were trading in games. Does that mean that youth will get something in the place of those video games when they trade in?
Totally. Thanks for asking. I think that's a beautiful part of this movement. We know that in the 80s that just say no doesn't work. We're dealing with addiction. We're dealing with habits and patterns that have been established over years. So we're cultivating relationships with sponsors and partners in the toy and game industry, as well as other sports venues and bowling alleys and movie theaters across the country. We know that we can't ask our youth to trade in violent video games that cost a lot of money and occupy a tremendous amount of time without giving them something in its place. It could be tickets to the movies or a football or baseball game. We want to replace the violent video games with both uplifting experiences and gifts that will support and reinforce this very, very important choice.
Wow. That sounds really fun, and it's so important to replace our time with other things, as well as you said that the parents were going to be getting the opportunity to spend more time with their children. So how as parents are we going to make this goal happen?
Well, this is gonna be the fun part. As a parent, I'm guilty as charged. I sent my kids to the electronic babysitter a few too many times, and I'm in an active process to try to get my kids back and to re-engage with them. So what I've created with that process in mind is what we call the Game Changer Pledge. And the pledge challenges parents to spend 2 more hours per week with their children. This could mean anything from sitting down and doing homework or throwing a ball, going to a movie, or even playing a board game on the dining room table. Parents are the most important game changers in their children's lives. We are also asking parents to make a contribution of $10 so that we can grow this movement all across this country. To complete this challenge, parents will record themselves taking the Game Changer Pledge and post it on Facebook, and challenge 3 of their friends to accept the challenge. As the Game Changer movement grows, we will showcase and highlight different ways that people are spending their 2 hours a week.
Oh my gosh, that is so neat. So everybody, now you know why you landed here. If you would like to take the challenge, if you are a game changer and want to speak up and encourage others to change their game, or if your child is playing video games and you're ready to, help us get more and more of these boxes collecting their video games in someplace in your community, we would like you to join in.
Your song, whatever path that you choose, know that you were built to see it through. I'm changing the world by changing me. I can't change nobody, I can only teach, so I'm staying sucker free. No haters, no negativity, you can't tax me. I'm living so free, changing the world by changing me. Can't change nobody, I can only teach, so I'm staying sucker free. No haters, no negativity, what's inside of you, how's it gonna be? Choose. Now you can choose to suffer, but I choose to live free. Whatever path that you choose, you gotta walk with integrity. And we all gotta hold our own, but we can make it all alone.